this is kind of complicated stuff. I would argue if you're an undergraduate student, this may in fact be some of the most complicated stuff you've ever seen in your courses. And there's a lot of math involved, but it's not that big of a deal, you know, and it's very logical, and it gives you something to shoot for instead of guessing.
It seems like it sounds like so much to expect from them. It does. I mean, which is positive, and that's
right.
What you need to do. But
yeah,
seems a lot to ask from a little brother.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a good point. I mean, you know, but we want to set reasonable goals, and remember, you can always change the goal, right? Because at the end of the day, you want kids to be successful, and you want them to feel good about themselves, right? Something I didn't tell you about my background is that I was a secondary special ed teacher, and I used to do assessment like this with high school kids who were 16, 17, 18 years old, hated school. You know, no one had ever really taken the time to make sure they got better, and this was the biggest hook for those kids. Like, I'm talking people who were like 3 years younger than me at the time. They loved it, and kids would be like, I'm getting better. I mean, you're the first person who ever like cared that I actually got better. I mean, these are like, you know, kids who just, they're that old, and they felt like people had just sold them short. And they got really excited. These are kids who never felt like they ever got better at anything. We're seeing in real life, like, oh my God, I got better from Monday. I did this 3 times a week, actually. I got better from Monday to Wednesday. Oh my God, I got even better Wednesday to Friday. I mean, these are kids who are so used to failing that counting how many words they read per minute was transformational for them, because it was the first time in their life they ever like knew they were getting better at school. And I had principals come in my room, and they would just be like, how? Like, you'd be in my room, and it'd be like all the kids would be in, it wasn't the whole class period, it was like 5 minutes a day. They would be engaged in, you know, reading fluency exercises, and the principals would be like, how do you do this? Like, because then they would go to another classroom and be fighting and cussing and throwing stuff at each other. But every day, this is, well, 3 days a week, first thing we did, pass out the folders, and boom, 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 boom. Everybody had their materials, and when the bell rang, there was about less than a minute lag time, and I had my stopwatch. I know this makes me sound like a crazy gym coach, but I had my stopwatch, ready, set, go. Boo! The whole class is reading. And I mean, principals would come into that and just be like, what are you doing? You know, how are you doing this? It's an engaging process that you take the guesswork out of, wow, are these kids getting better? I knew they were getting better. I know more now than I knew then. But I knew they were getting better, and they knew they were getting better. It was really exciting. And that's why I'm actually so passionate about this. Because if I can get 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids to do this, and it was powerful for them, and it's actually really, it's much harder to get older kids to become better readers. Little kids will just eat this up too, and they do. This is actually, I would even say, this has become so common that it's a little problematic. I will admit, for probably the first time, that to some degree oral reading fluency has become a little problematic because kids are so used to it. They're just like reading as fast as they can, and that is not the point. It's really not about reading as fast as you can. It's about reading at an appropriate speed and reading with accuracy. Those are the 2 things about reading fluency that are most important.